Hello guys, welcome to another exciting day. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to YJ Digital World. I'm your host Agu Joseph. So guys, on this channel I basically create graphic design content, sharing of design tips and tricks. So on this tutorial video, basically I'll be guiding you through on how to create a party flyer design for an event precisely using Photoshop for this design. So guys, if you are new to the channel and you are yet to subscribe, do well to smash the subscribe button on the screen, turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like. So in order for me to create this design, I have to create my Canva for the design project. So I'll slide over here and click on the new file. So here we have the new document panel. Okay, on the new document panel here, you can choose to give a project in over here. Then we'll set our units of measurement in inches. We'll be working with the 4x4 inches of measurement. Okay, resolution will be set on 300. Color mode will be set on RGB because this design will be used on social media platforms precisely. Then we'll click on the create button. So over here we have the Canva workspace on which the design will be carried out on. Okay, so the first phase has to do with creating of the background. So I would like to drag in all the resources I'll be using for this design into my Canva workspace. Okay, so I'll drag them and drop them here. After you are done dragging in the images we'll be using for this design project, the next thing you have to do is to start with the first phase, which has to do with creating of the background. Okay, so in order for me to create this background, I'll come to where I have this layer called the background layer, slide over to the adjustment all the way to the solid fill. Okay, I'll be making use of this solid fill precisely. Here is the hex code for the solid fill I'm using precisely here. So I'll click on OK. After I'm done with that, I'll slide over here where I have this other image here. Okay, I'll hit Ctrl T to transform, hold Alt to scale up. Okay, I'm done scaling up, so right click on it and rotate clockwise. Okay, hold Alt, scale up the size. I think this is good enough this way. Click on OK, change the blending mode to okay. I think this will work perfectly well. Then we'll have to scale down the opacity to about 28% precisely. That is for that. After I'm done with that, I'll enable this other layer here. Ctrl minus to zoom out the size of the Canva. Okay, Ctrl T to transform. So come over here, hit Ctrl T to transform, hold Alt to scale up the size. Okay, so you scale up the size this way and position yours this way probably. Okay, so after you're done with that, you click on the check button, so you fit back to screen. Okay, change the blending mode for this to color dodge. Okay, after you're done changing the blending mode for this to color dodge, all you have to do next is to hit Ctrl U on your keyboard. The hue and saturation panel comes up. You increase the saturation to about 100 precisely, then you hit on the OK button. After you're done with that, we move to the next phase of the background. Okay, by creating a fill. Okay, on this background we need to add more depth. Okay, slide over to the adjustments all the way to the levels. On the levels here, I'll add more depth to the shadow region. Okay, so you have to be careful about the amount of depth you're adding to your design precisely. So after you're done with that, you are good to go. So that is for the background. Okay, so all I have to do is to hold Shift, select the last layer, hit Ctrl G on the keyboard and call this my background, BG, which stands for my background precisely. So after I'm done with that, so the next thing on the agenda has to do with the model image. Okay, I always advise that you always convert your model image to a smart object. By doing so, it enables you to maintain the image resolution whenever you scale up and scale down without actually losing the size or quality of the image. Likewise, enables you to make subsequent adjustments to the layer at any point in time in your design project. Okay, so I right click on this, convert this to a smart object. So after I'm done with that, Ctrl T and position this to around somewhere here like this. Okay, so I'll position this to somewhere here. So after I'm done with that, I need to work on this by sharpening the image. So I'll come to filter here all the way to camera raw. Here we have the camera raw interface, and here is the image. So I have to enable the before and after so that you have a good preview of how this looks on the model image. So the first thing I work with, it has to do with the basics. So on the basics here, I need to work on the exposure by adjusting the exposure a little bit. Okay, and notice that the lighting is too high on that. Then the contrast as well, I need to adjust this to about this. Okay, so after I'm done with that, I'll move to the highlight as well. And the highlights, I need to adjust the highlights as well this way. Okay, so after I'm done with the highlights, I'll move to the shadows and boost up the highlights. Okay, on the shadows. Okay, I need to cast out some of the dark shades on the shadows. So the white as well, boost it up as well. So okay, likewise this, the black. So on the black, I also boost it up to about, let me see, this is okay for the black. Okay, that's for that. So after I'm done with that, I move to clarity and texture precisely. So on the texture here, I'll boost up my texture this way and boost up my clarity this way. Okay, so after I'm done with that, I'll just boost up the house a little bit. So after I'm done working with that, on the hues and saturation, and reduce the hues a little bit, that is the saturation a little bit, scale it down. And after I'm done with that, I have to slide down to where I have my details over here. On the details here, I need to boost up the sharpen. Okay, likewise I need to make little adjustments on the reduce noise as well. Okay, to maintain a good smooth transition on the surface of the image. Okay, after I'm done with that, I'll hit on the OK button. So after working with the camera raw, all I have to do is to hit Ctrl J to make a duplicate of the model image. Left click and drag the filter icon here and drag it to the trash can. Hold Alt in between the two layers. You notice your mouse pointer changes to this. Left click to create a clipping mask. After you're done with that, come to filter here all the way to others and all the way to high pass. Okay, so basically I just need to add more of texture to this. I think this should work perfectly well this way. Okay, need to add more texture to the skin. I'll click on the OK, then change the blending to hard light precisely. So I'm done with that. So the next on the agenda has to do with applying of adjustment layers to this. Okay, the first I'll be working with has to do with the hues and saturation. Okay, so I can choose to clip mask this place, clip mark this so that it won't affect the whole project. So you can set this to about 12 this way. Okay, this way. So after I'm done with that, we come to the adjustment, the color balance precisely. So we need to work on the color. Click on the clip mask as well to clip mask the color effect on the image. So after I'm done with that, on the midtones precisely, I'll be boosting up the reds on the midtones. Okay, likewise the yellows as well. So gain back some of the orange. Okay, I need it to be on the model face precisely. Okay, that's on the midtones. While on the highlight, I need to boost this up a little, and likewise this. Okay, I think this is okay this way. So after I'm done with that, I'll move to the next by applying adjustment curve to this. I need to add more depth to the shadow that is on the model image. Click on the clip mask space so that the effect will be only on the model precisely. So after I'm done with that, we'll move to the next phase that has to do with applying of selective color. Click on the clip mask. So work on the red first. Okay, on the red here, we have to actually boost up the red, okay, by reducing the cyan. So if we reduce the scene and this, we are boosting up the reds. Okay, after I'm done with that, we slide over to the black. Okay, let me work on the white. So on the white as well, and make adjustments on the using the black slider here. So I have to reduce this by adding more white, by regaining the white on the necklace and other things. Okay, so I'll make the adjustment this way to about, I think this is good. So I'll come to the black and boost up the black a little bit. Okay, so about, let me say, this amount is okay. That is for the black. So after I'm done with that, click on the first layer here, hold shift, click on the last layer here, and hit Ctrl G to group this. I can call this model. Okay, that is for that. So after I'm done with this, the next thing we'll have to work on is the title, that is the theme of the event. So I'll come over here, pick my text tool, okay, left click here, and type in the theme of the event, which is called party loaf. That is the theme of the event. Okay, I'm using a font called Wanderer precisely for this, so I'll change the fill for this to white. Okay, Ctrl T to transform the size. Okay, and check. But before proceeding, I would like to turn on my guide. So I'll come to the view, guide, and turn on the new guide layouts. And here are the settings I use for my guides precisely. So I click on the OK. So I'll adjust the position of this over here. Ctrl T to transform the size this way. Okay, that's for that. So after I'm done with that, so the next thing I have to do is for me to come over here to the blending mode and change the blending mode for this text to, let me see, I think overlay will work perfectly well for this. So I'll double click on the layer so that the layer styles will come up. Okay, over here we'll have the layer styles. So on the layer styles, one of the first things we'll be working on the layer styles has to do with the bevels and embells. Okay, I'll enable the bevels and embells. So on the bevels and embells, we set this on this. Okay, set this on smooth and boost up the depth to about, okay, this will be set on up. Okay, that's for that. This should be set on 2 precisely. I don't need it to be much. Okay, so I'll soften this to about let me see. Okay, I'll leave the angles the way they are, enable this. Okay, after I'm done with that, I'll set this on the contour on Gaussian precisely. After I'm done with that, this will be set on screen. Okay, so this will be boosted up to about let me say 78, while this will be set to about this. Okay, so I'll change the fill color for this to FEE 086. Okay, that's the color I'll be using for this. So after I'm done with that, I'll click on the OK button. So I'll come on over here, enable the strokes. Okay, so on the strokes here, you set the size to about 4 pixels. Okay, this will be set on outside, and this should be set on normal 100%. Okay, the color for this should be set on gradient precisely. So I'll enable the gradient over here. I've created the gradient preset. Okay, so on this end, here is the hex code for the color I'm using, while on this other end, here is the hex code for the color I'm actually using. So I'll click on the OK button. So after I'm done with that, make sure this is checked. Okay, linear is set, angle is set on 90, opacity is set on 100. So after we're done with that, we move to the inner glow. On the inner glow, this will be set on screen, and the opacity should be boosted up to about, okay, that's for that. Okay, noise 0, and this should be set on this, that is FDC 504. That's the color code I'm using for that. So after I'm done with that, I'll come over here, set this on softener. Edge is enabled. The choke is set. The choke should be set on 0. This will be set on about size 3 precisely. Okay. While this should be set on linear. Okay, this is your linear precisely. Okay, so after we're done with that, I'll leave this the way it is. Then move to the next, which is the satin. So enable the satin here. On the satin here, we'll change this to multiply. Okay, change the fill color for this to FEE08. Okay, that's for that. So I'll click on the OK button. So after I'm done with that, I will have to set the angle for this as this. Okay, that is 90 degrees. Okay, we set this to about work perfectly well. Okay, the size for this size, I need to increase the size a little bit. Okay, so for the size, I'll boost this up as well. Let me see. Okay, I think this will work perfectly well for the size. And make sure this both checked precisely. Okay, so after you're done with that, make sure your contour is also set on linear. Please take note, the contour should be set on linear. And after you're done with that, you click on the OK button. Okay, so that's for that. So after we are done with this, we'll make a duplicate by hitting Ctrl J. So on the new duplicated layer, I'll drag it beneath. Okay, and throw away the adjustment. Okay, so after we are done with that, by throwing it away, we'll come over here, set this on multiply. Okay, double click on this layer, so we'll move all the way to drop down shadow. Enable the drop down shadow. Okay, on the drop down shadow, we'll have to set this to about 44. I think this is okay. We'll enable this 90. Okay, we'll leave other settings the way they are and change this to, let me see, I think this is cone will work perfectly well for this. And after we are done with that, make sure you leave other settings the way they are and click on the OK button. So after you're done with that, use your navigation button to adjust this way. Okay, that's for that. So after we are done with that, the next thing we have to do is to select the two groups and group them together and call this theme. Okay, so the next thing we have to do here is to place the name of the organizers. Come over here, left click and paste this here, Ctrl A, and change the font to Cyto Next precisely. Okay, you can choose to scale down the size for the text. Okay, that's for that. You can also choose to adjust the spacing for now. Okay, so after I'm done with that, I'll drag and adjust this, position it somewhere here. Pick my text tool over here and start copying my text. So left click over here, paste in the text, check. Okay, so for this, I'll have to increase the size to semi-bold precisely. Okay, and I will leave this on regular precisely. So Ctrl A to select the whole text, and you choose to increase the tracking to about 0. Okay, after you're done with that, you check. Okay, drag and position it around somewhere here this way. Okay, I need to adjust the fill color a little bit to a lighter value this way. Okay, that's for that. So Ctrl T, check please, Ctrl T, transform and adjust the size this way. So after I'm done with this, the next thing I have to do is to work on the next set of text. Pick my text to come over here, left click and paste it here. Okay, come over here, copy this other set of text, come over here, left click and paste it in here. So after you're done with that, you come over here, change this to auto. Okay, After you're done changing this to auto, Control A and uncheck the capitalize each word. Okay, so after you're done with that, you come over here, Control T to transform the size of this text, and you can choose to position it somewhere around here this way. Okay, while for this, change the font family to bold. Okay, for this I made use of the autograph, precisely that's the font I used. So I'll hit Ctrl T, transform this and position this way. Okay, so I will adjust the leadings. Okay, that's the space. Return this to about 0, that is the tracking. Okay, so for this I need to change the fill, so I'll come over here, change the fill to this. Here's the hex code I'm using for the fill. Okay, so after I'm done with that, I'll make sure that I adjust the position for the text, okay, in line with the word width. Okay, so after I'm done with that, pick my text tool. Okay, so come over here, left click and paste it here. Okay, Ctrl T, transform the size of this as well. Okay, increase the leadings. Okay, return this to 0. Okay, so I'll come over here, I'll change this to the same feel of yellow as this, so I'll pick the color from here. Okay, so I'll click on the OK button. Okay, that's for that. For this, I'll select this and change the type, the font style to bold. Okay, that's for that. Ctrl H and position it somewhere around this way. Okay, that's for that. Ctrl J and adjust this way here. So after I'm done with that, come over here to where I have my shape and pick the line tool. Left click and drag this way horizontally. Okay, so after I'm done, come over here, change this to this particular fill and enable the size of the stroke to about, let me say 4. Is it okay? So let me adjust this to about 2. Okay, on the property here, in case you don't have yours over here, you can enable it from your property, from your window panel here, and click on the properties. So for this, I'll set this as this, set this as this, set this as this, then I'll set this as this. Okay, so after I'm done with that, hit Ctrl T and adjust the position to somewhere here this way. So you adjust the size. Okay, so hit Ctrl J, make a duplicate and place this way. Okay, so after you're done with that, select the two layers, right click and merge them together. Okay, hold Ctrl on your keyboard, left click on where you have the layer. You notice your mouse pointer changes to this, left click on this when you hold Ctrl. Okay, when it changes this way, okay, you left click when you are holding the control. Come to where you have the get your ticket and align this horizontally to the middle. Okay, that's for that. I need to change the fill for this to white. Okay, I need to change this to white precisely. Okay, so I need to balance the contrast along that region. Okay, that's for that. So the next thing we have to do has to do with placing of the venue address. So I'll copy this, enable this, Ctrl T, scale down the size, check and position it to somewhere around here this way. Enable your guide so that you'll be sure that you position it properly. Okay, double click on this, add a fill of shadow to this. So after you're done with this, so I'll come over here where I have this, select the first layer, hold shift, select the last layer where I have the whole set of text, hit Ctrl T, hold Ctrl and Shift on my keyboard and tweak your text this way. You can still choose to scale it up or scale it down, it all depends on you. So you can choose to position it this way. Okay, I think it will work well this way. Likewise, your model image, you can choose to scale up the size of your model image. Okay, I think this is actually good this way. Okay, that's for that. So let's add more depth to the background. Okay, I don't like the way the background is as flat as this, so I'll come to where I have this, make a duplicate of this by hitting Ctrl J. Okay, you can say wow, this is actually looking nice. I can choose to make use of it this way, but I don't want to make use of it this way, so I'll drag this outside the group. So after I'm done with that, I'll take it beneath the model image this way. Okay, drag, left click on the filter and drag it to the trash. Okay, so now we have a plain text. Okay, Ctrl T, take it over here. Okay, scale up the size, so you can choose to scale up the size this way. So for this, I can choose to change the fill color for the text I place at the background, or leave it the way it is this way. Okay, so I'll just scale down the fill and the opacity. Okay, I don't need it to be too obvious so that the information on the foreground can be more visible. So I hit Ctrl J and make a duplicate. Okay, work on the fill and the opacity as well, so you control the strengths. Okay, can choose to do it this way. Can still choose to scale down the size, so you can choose to scale up the size this way and position it this way. So you can still make a duplicate of this, Ctrl T, and position it to 1 around here. Okay, so you just play around. By doing so, you'll be adding more depth to the project. Okay, so that's for that. You can still choose to scale down the opacity and flows a little bit. That's for that. Okay, so guys, you just play around and see how the project is actually coming. Okay, that's for that. So you're good to go. So after we are done with this, all we have to do is to go to the topmost layer, come to where I have this and group this set of information. Okay, so I'll call this info. Okay, that's for that. So the next thing I have to do is to stand visible by clicking on the first layer at the top over here, hold Ctrl Shift Alt E to stand visible, right click and convert it to a smart object. So after you're done with that, you can come over here to camera raw and under your filter here. Here we have the camera raw. So on the camera raw, work on the basics precisely. So here I'll add a little feel of exposure to this. Okay, come to my texture, boost it up as well. You need to add more texture to this. Okay, clarity should be boosted a little. I think this is okay this way. So I'll slide over to details, boost up the details as well, adjust the noise. Okay, I don't want the image to be too rough. Okay, I don't need the project to be too rough, so move to effects over here, add some grains to this. Okay, for this add a little feel of this. Okay, notice that some of the edges is becoming a little bit darker. Okay, Okay, that is actually looking good for this. So I can still choose to take this a step further by going to the color mixer. Okay, on the color mixer I can still choose to say, okay, let me lighten up the yellows. Okay, this is how it looks. So you just play around and see what works perfectly well for you, and you will work with it. Okay, so after I'm done with that, I click on the OK button. Okay, so this is before and this is after, so there's a big difference. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. If you do enjoy this video, do well to give this video a like. Okay, if you are new to the channel and you're yet to subscribe, do well to smash the subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. Do well to leave your comments, your suggestions on the comment section. Okay, if you have any question, leave your questions and your comments in the comment section. Okay, you can reach me on my socials at YJ Digital World on all social media platforms. Please don't forget to give this video a like. Thank you guys for watching.